Hi guys, I'm back. If you watched my last video, it was a really sad video, but I'm really happy today. I'm having a really good day and I'm just like in a good space today, so I decided to do another video. This video is going to be dating advice, and I'm sure you saw that by the title already. So I made a list in my phone of a few. It's like 5 or 6, and most of these are kind of my opinion and things that I went through in my relationship. So I'm just, giving back from things that I learned and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try not to make this video that long, so I didn't put everything. If you want a part 2 to this video, or if you have any other questions, about this topic, or if you want me to go more in depth on certain points, give this video a thumbs up and I'll do another video. Also subscribe to my channel because it's an awesome channel. Thanks in advance. First one is, remember, it's not always about you. And this is very important, because in a relationship there's 2 people. So in the beginning of my relationship, I was very kind of spoiled, and I wasn't willing to budge on a lot of things, whether it be like moving to a certain place or going certain places to eat, or when it came to like things with sex. So you definitely have to be willing to hear your partner out and try things even if you don't want to. Sometimes if it's something that deep in your heart you definitely don't want to do and you definitely don't want to budge on, absolutely, sometimes you just have to stick to your guns and put your foot down. But just remember that in a relationship there are 2 people, and you always have to consider the other person's feeling. Number 2 is, don't get too comfortable. Now this is also very important, because like I said before, it's, in a relationship there's 2 people. So if, for example, when you met your partner or your spouse or whatever, and you really was drawn to him because he really kept himself neat and clean, the same thing with guys with the girl. If you were like really a neat and clean person, you took small things like doing your hair every week, very serious, or you took education very serious, or you took, your work ethic was like very strong. A lot of these things, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but a lot of these things have drawn the other person to you. So you want to make sure you're the same person that they fell in love with or that they liked in the beginning. So like women, when they get comfortable, you were a really tidy person in the house, and as time went on you decided, well, he's been here a lot and stuff like that, so I don't really need to mop, or I don't really need to clean. And it may seem small, but that might bother him. That might start to bother him, like, okay, why is the house always dirty? Why when I go in the bathroom it's not clean? Things like that. And believe it or not, that can bother someone. And also things like, not saying I love you as much anymore, or not showing as much affection as you did in the beginning. Those are things that you really need to pay attention to. So don't get comfortable and go, in the beginning you guys were saying I love you on the phone every night before bed, and now you're only, saying I love you like once a week. Women like to hear that and be reassured, and sometimes men do too. So definitely pay attention to the small things and don't get too comfortable. 3, remember the small things. This is what I just said before. So they kind of tie into each other. I'm not really gonna get into this one because I kind of talked about it a minute ago. So yeah, don't forget the small things. Communicate. Oh my gosh, like this communication will make or break your relationship. I'm the type of person, I don't really like to talk about things when I'm like if I'm going through something, or if you made me mad because we were supposed to go out to dinner and then you canceled, or I don't know. But if I was like upset about something, I wouldn't say anything. Like I wouldn't talk about it and say, hey, I didn't like when you did this earlier. I would just like get an attitude, storm off, or not speak for a few days. That can really cause a rift in your relationship. So you definitely have to talk about things, like even the small things, like, hey, when I spoke to you earlier you didn't say I love you on the phone. let him know like those things matter to you. If it's things like, you know, you feel like his parents are being intrusive in you guys' relationship, and you know he's kind of like listening to his friends too much with certain things, or listening to his mom too much with certain things, and you want him to, you know, like, okay, this is not okay, you have a mind of your own, you need to use it, stop listening to what everyone says, say it. If he is talking at you instead of talking to you and it's starting to bother you, say it. If he's not letting you look at his phone, or he's, you know, being like, you know, he's giving you a certain kind of vibe, like something might be wrong in a relationship, say it. Don't ever not say anything. I promise you, either you're going to talk about it and you guys are going to get through it, or you're going to talk about it and it's not going to work out, and then you guys can go your separate ways. But don't hold on to things. Next one is don't go to sleep upset at each other. Now, like I said before, when I got upset about things, I didn't say anything about it. So I would kind of like go to sleep angry and wake up the next day and still be angry, and be angry throughout the day, the next day. So my boyfriend and I decided to not go to sleep angry at each other. So even if I was mad at him, you know, in the morning time, and I didn't speak to him throughout the day, before we go to bed, we had to talk about it and we had to get over it, just because you don't want to bring negative feelings into the next day. It's really not a good feeling. So that's something you guys can definitely practice with your boyfriend or girlfriend. I think it really works and it really helps out a lot. Next one, be careful who you take advice from. Now, I don't remember who told me this, but basically they said,
don't take relationship advice from someone who is not in a relationship.
So not meaning like, oh, if your mom has been in a, you know, with your dad for the past 15 years and they got a divorce and she's single now, don't take advice from her. No. But, you know, especially young adults, a lot of people haven't been in serious major relationships, or a lot of people have been in relationships where it only lasted like a few months or a year. So if you're going to take relationship advice, take it from someone who has been in a relationship for a while and you know will give you good advice. So you don't want to take relationship advice from someone who has been in a relationship and now they have a, you know, F kind of attitude, because, you know, their mindset is already, you know, F guys, they're no good, and you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be bitter and hateful and, you know, believe that there are no good guys left out there. So I recommend that you don't take advice from a friend or a relative who has that mindset. And just in general, if you're getting, whether it's business advice, why would you get business advice from someone who has never ran a business, who has never started a business or tried to start a business? What could you possibly learn from them? So same thing with relationships. Watch who you take a relationship advice from. Also, everyone doesn't always have your best interests at heart.
Anyway, moving on.
Next one, and the last one, is know when and when not to have boundaries. And I say this because I said this in my last video, my boy problems video. So boundaries as far as, okay, a lot of guys have boundaries in relationships, or even if you're not in a relationship, you're just dating them, they have this line you cannot cross with wanting to see their phone. Now me, I am an advocate for going through your boyfriend's phone, and not even going through it just to find something, but just being able to say, hey babe, can I see your phone, and him saying yes, or you just simply knowing the passcode to his phone. There should be no problem with having your boyfriend's phone in your hand. So if he has this boundary where you can't look through his phone, not a good sign. Don't go for it. Talk about it. Tell him how you feel. I'm not comfortable. I feel like you may be hiding something, and even if you aren't hiding something, I don't see the problem with me just wanting to see your phone or look at your phone, or even being able to know your passcode. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I say learn when not to have boundaries. So that kind of boundary, you know, you don't want to have in your relationship is just, it gives you a sense of untrustworthiness, because you should be able to trust him and he should be able to trust you. So know when to have boundaries, as far as if you are someone who feels like you're not open to having a threesome and your man just keeps, or your girlfriend keeps, insisting, we should really try this, we're getting older, we need a little bit more excitement. No, that's when you have boundaries. Not saying don't have to do something, but if that's something you feel like you definitely don't want to try or you don't want to do, don't let him talk you into it. If you are willing to try it, fine, but if you're not, stick to your guns, and that's it. So learn when and when not to have boundaries. That's definitely important in a relationship also. That is the last one, and like I said, let me know if you guys want me to get more in depth with certain, topics that I said, or if you want me to do another video with, more things about dating advice. If you have any specific questions, I will make a video specifically for you answering your question. Or if you just want to message me and ask a question, I'll message you back. That way I don't have to make a video about it. Yeah, so like I said, subscribe to my channel. You're gonna love it, I promise. And thanks for watching. Bye.